Dámy a pánové, dovolte mi přivítat Aymana Koubu, viceprezidenta oddělení infrastrukturního financování Société Générale z Paříže. A pojďme se podívat ještě na zkušenosti z Francie, z železničního sektoru. My jsme tady měli zajímavý kulatý stůl s britskými experty, kterého se účastnilo přibližně 100 účastníků, bylo to na ministerstvu. Myslím, že z toho vypadlo řada zajímavých podnětů, jak pro vysokorychlostní tratě, tak pro vlakové spojení tady centrum Prahy na letiště. Tak si pojďme poslechnout, co je možné, co se ve Francii děje v oblasti železnic.
So thank you, Thomas. First of all, I thank you because this is the second time that you invite me. I was there the first one, and I am happy to see that good progress has been put forward for PPP project in the country. And as you said, I will try to say a few words about how the rail infrastructure and PPP has been dealt with in the French experience. So basically, I will drop all this because I think all this has been already marketed by Alex this morning. So basically, in terms of railway and experience in France, the deals that has been financed through PPP or concession has been made, recent ones, but basically these are mainly the only recent ones, has been made between 2011 and 12. So two of them, the first one, Tour Bordeaux, was about 8 billion of euros in terms of construction cost. This has been put in place. This has been put in place based on traffic, and traffic has been transferred to the private sector. The two others, ones who Bretagne, Pays de Loire, and Nîmes-Montpellier, has been closed based on availability payment. So the only one which has been closed based on traffic has been the first one, which is Tour Bordeaux. I will detail now two of this project. The last one, this is the Nîmes-Montpellier project. So this is a large-scale project which combined passenger and freight. This is so this is one part of the section which goes from Paris to Spain. Sponsors was you have here the list of the sponsors who made the project, which are the Bouygues Colas entities plus Alstom, SPI, Meridiam, and FIDEP. This project has been based on availability payment. The scope of the project is design, construction, maintenance, renewals, financing of this line. It's only the line, only infrastructure. So no rolling stock has been put into the scope of the project. So basically, the project and the private party has to construct the line. The line, all civil engineering works, they have to take some risk in terms of land acquisition, in terms of authorization, in terms of ground risk. There has been some sharing with the public authority. And direct operation. So the main items that has been transferred to the private partner was mainly the maintenance of all this line with all the stuff of the tracks, of the catenary, of the drainage, of the and the renew of all this equipment. And basically the operation, this is availability payment, operation So this is used by operator, mainly the main operator is SNCF, and the public, I mean the grantor, he's the one who operate the line and between the different operators. I put also, I think it's always important and to see how in terms of timetable this has been put in place. So basically between preferred bidder, between pre-qualification and financial close, that has been 3 years. And completion, I mean, it's estimated in 2015, and the end of the project is based on 25 years availability payment. In terms of financing, the project has 1.8 billion euros of financing. One first part has been 0.6 billion euros, which has been funded by subsidies from the public authority. The other party has been financed by the senior lenders and the equity, so based on 90-10. And different lender, I mean, the financing plan include different type of lenders. So we're basically 11 commercial banks, which has put in place a construction facility that will be refinanced at completion, so beginning of the operation, by a long-term facility from the IIB and CDC, which is Cash Japan, which is one of public lending arms of the French state. I mean, this refinancing will benefit from the DAI mechanism in France, which permit to have secured guarantees from the public authority. The commercial lenders also have put in place long-term project financing, but in terms of 250 million euro. And the additional facility, which was the equity, bridge loan, and VAT facility. As you can see, I mean, the different commercial banks, and the German one, Japanese, the French, basically Spain, UK, and Italy was the commercial bank that put in place the financing. So this financing has been put in place when there was trouble in terms of the financial market, summer 2012, in terms of there was political uncertainty in terms of the French election, in terms of the Greek election, in terms of overall the sovereign debt crisis, which again demonstrate that this type of project with the good assets and the good structure could bring and could rise a significant amount of liquidity from either the commercial banks or AIB or other government lending body. So this was the first deal that I want to talk about. The second one is the Tour Bordeaux, which was the only one which has been done based on transfer from the traffic to the private sector. Again, this is I put here a description of the project, but key element is that the line in itself, the route between Tours and Bordeaux, and basically between Paris and Bordeaux, already exists, where there is a high-speed line between Paris and Tours, and then from Tours to Bordeaux there is only a normal line. So here we have a project where there is existing traffic and route and passenger with train already in place. That has been one important point. I will come back to this in the financing section. So again, in terms of the scope, it's only infrastructure. No rolling stock has been included. this has been the sponsor of the project were are Vinci Group, Construction and Concession, with financial funds, Ardian, CDC, Infrastructure and Meridian. So, in terms of financing, the big question was the traffic. If the market has will or not be able to take traffic risk. I think this was clearly difficult and complex from the market in terms of analyzing the projection, because when we compare it to the route. In terms of, for the railway, you have not only to do the traffic estimation for the passenger, but you have to put a second level, which you need to understand how the operators will react to this, because the people who will pay you are the operators. And you combine this with regulation, the change of regulation, the view existing models and projection, which has been tested to do projection in terms of traffic. This was a clearly difficult and complex point into this transaction. But one positive point was that you have this kind of brownfield already existing traffic, because the line already exists, you have passenger, and you basically are upgrading one portion of the line. And again, even with this, the commercial banks needed to have some specific instrument, which was the EIB LGTT which has been included in order to mitigate downside traffic risk. The financing plan, which was 8 billion euros, half of this has been put in place by the public sector in terms of subsidies, either from the French state or from the local regional government, from the European Union Fund, and also from the grantor itself. So half of this has been financed by the public sector. The other half has been raised in the market with, you have the equity, 1 billion of commercial debt guaranteed by the French state, which does not really bear any risk in the project. 600 million of commercial bank bearing project risk, construction and operation, and then traffic risk. Also, there has been 750 million from Caisse de Dépôt, Fonds d'épargne Caisse de Dépôt, again guaranteed by the public authority, which doesn't bear any kind of project risk. EIB has put 400 million guaranteed and 200 million of debt, which bears project risk. Overall of this, it's interesting to see from 8 billion of construction or financing plan needed, you have only 600 million from commercial banks, which bears project risk, 200 million from ARB, which bear project risk, and you have the equity. All other parts are either guaranteed by the state or the grantor, or already comes in terms of subsidy from the state. So clearly, in terms of traffic, the railway sector is something that difficult for the market to analyze, to understand, and then to take. And I think if you have a look to PPP project and infrastructure financing in terms of limited recourse financing combined with railway sector, you can't really, you will have only few or not really even few example of project that has been put in place or financed by putting the traffic risk on the private sector side. I don't know if I have again time or not. I have 2 or 3 slides. Okay. Again, this is how the French railway sector works. It doesn't mean that because you have clearly to look how the regulation works, and you have different story and different regulation and different entities between each, even in Europe, where the European Commission is trying to have some common basis for this. In terms of the main contractual structure, for the railway sector, I put only the other side of the contractor. I don't have put all the subcontractor usual one, which were already presented in terms of construction and operation. But clearly here you will need you have the SPV, the concessionaire, the private partner, which really have to deal with a lot of other people, other stakeholders, which are many of them are so the infrastructure manager and the contractor authority who owe. In terms of who owe the national network, so you can't do your own line without being. You are dependent from the national network, so your first contact will be the infrastructure manager in terms of the national railway, who will be the contracting authority in case of the French experience. This has benefit from subsidy from the French state, from the local government, and from the European Union. You have 2 types, of either the availability payment or the traffic. When it's availability, it's much, it's easier, much classic, because you receive, the private partner receives the availability payment, and all the specific items which are related to the railway sector are clearly dealt by the infrastructure manager. For the traffic, if the traffic is passed to the private sector, it's a different story, because you have to choose and discuss the tariff with the public authority, the operators, and you cannot fix your tariff alone. So you are really one of the chain of the players. You have to discuss with all these players. You have then to allow, because you will have in France, you will have the public entity. Not the public, but the historic one. The SNCF is the main operator. You have other operators. You need to have, all these operators need to have the same treatment. You need to treat them at the same level. So it's also not easy to handle. So, and you have to optimize your benefit and your cash flow and your revenue. And that's make, in terms of clearly transferring the risk of the traffic to the private sector, clearly a question mark. And in terms of the French experience, at least, it has been done only for one project, the first one, clearly in the context where there has been already existing traffic, existing line, existing route. And again, the financial market has been struggling to take more than I think 20 or 20% of risk or the financing in terms of who bears this type of risk. So clearly question mark when regarding railway sector if you want to transfer the traffic to the private sector. The last one is clearly where I try to have for the main task the difference between the public schema, the ability payment, and the traffic risk. clearly, with public schema, you have to finance this. You will be also the design and the construction. In terms of PPP schema, availability or traffic, you put this to the private sector. In terms of the maintenance, you can put it forward to the private sector. In terms of operation, it really depends and how you want to tackle this. And clearly, traffic risk, you can. I mean, question mark if you can or not transfer it to the private sector when you want to bring again financing based on limited recourse to the sponsor. And this is what I mean. So thanks. If you have question, clearly.
Okay, dámy a pánové, máte někdo dotaz na železniční projekty ve Francii? Když tak prezentace, já vím, že ten text byl relativně malý, prezentace bude k dispozici na našich webových stránkách, všechny prezentace tam budou, to znamená, budete si je moct stáhnout. Pro vaši informaci, my jsme pořídili i videozáznam a ten videozáznam bude v pozdější době na našich webových stránkách, bude rozsekán podle těch speakerů, podle těch panelů, takže si myslím, že to může být zajímavý i pro novináře. Snažíme se uchovat tu informaci pro ty, kteří tady například nebyli, takže do budoucna si myslíme, že by to mělo být k dispozici i pro ostatní. Dámy a pánové, dovolte mi poděkovat našim panelistům. Díky moc, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Dnešní akce je u konce. Chtěl bych vám poděkovat za to, že jste vydrželi tak dlouho. Myslím si, že optimisticky můžu prohlásit, že sál je z poloviny plný. Já se pokusím jenom krátce shrnout, co jsme tady slyšeli. Já si myslím, že tady zazněly pozitivní ohlasy na představené projekty. Na pilotní projekty, které tady byly, jsme slyšeli jsme pozitivní hlas na to, že kombinace greenfieldu, brownfieldu je sice výzvou, ale pořád to by neměl být nějaký zásadní problém. To, co tady zaznělo, doporučení pro ministerstvo dopravy, rozhodně si sehnat kvalitní poradce, kvalitní mezinárodní poradce. Ovšem na to, aby je mohli mít, ministerstvo se musí si umět zaplatit. To znamená, musí mít dostatečný rozpočet na to, aby se dokázalo kvalitní práci zaplatit. To, co tady taky zaznělo, je potřeba brát v potaz, že zahraniční poradci mají problém s českým specifikem a to je neomezená odpovědnost. Z toho směru doporučujeme, aby ministerstvo této výzvě naslouchalo. Dalším důležitým bodem je kvalitní příprava. To znamená, než uspěchat datum vyhlášení kvalifikace na koncesionáře, je lepší kvalitně připravit projekt a možná chvilku počkat, tak aby se nám to potom nezdržovalo v době soutěžního dialogu. Zaznělo tady také, že bychom neměli vymýšlet nic nového. V projektovém financování a PPP silnic většina věcí už vymyšlena byla. Pojďme se inspirovat Slovenskem, Holandskem, možná taky Německem. Byl tady doporučen klasický přenos rizik, který byl použit například na Slovensku. Smluvní podmínky, to samé, nevymýšlejme nic nového, pojďme využít to, co už bylo vymyšleno. A k ostatním projektům zaznělo tady ze strany EIB i u těch velkých projektů, jako je třeba R35 nebo severní obchvat Prahy, pojďme k těmto projektům přistoupit taky jako PPP a pojďme zkombinovat evropské fondy a dlouhodobou odpovědnost našich dodavatelů. Dámy a pánové, já bych vám chtěl poděkovat za to, že jste tady byli, že jste nám dali důvěru, že dnešní konference bude velice zajímavá. Pánové, děkuji všem expertům, kteří se k nám dneska připojili a přijeli z ciziny. Chtěl bych poděkovat organizátorům Libušce Kamíčkové z BID Services za tuto skvělou akci, Gábině Sporné, mé kolegyni, která se o tuto akci také velice zasloužila. Ještě jednou děkuji vám a já se přiznám, že jsem se vám nepředstavil. Kdo mě ještě nezná, tak se musí koukat dneska na televizi, protože jsem na 24 dneska mluvil o PPP, tak se mě musíte najít, pusťte si televizi doma. Já vám děkuji moc krát a přeji vám pěkný den. Vás mám vám ještě pozvat na koktejl a na malé občerstvení a na skleničku vína, protože se přiznám, že je moje chyba jako moderátora, že jsme dneska přetáhli trošku, tak dneska to bude na mě.